When selling your property, it's plainly obvious. We want to sell it for the most amount of money possible. We want the biggest return on investment. We want the cash in our pockets. But now that's becoming an issue because within our real estate market, we have a critical component that's affecting everyone within our market. You are not exempt from this. My name is George Rodriguez from eXp Realty, and I'm a local real estate agent here in the state of Washington. So buy or sell real estate, you know where to come. Contact information is down below. Don't be shy. When talking about the critical component of the transaction process, when you are selling your property, you have to be very keen and aware of what your property is actually worth. That's going to come into your real estate professional actually educating you on what your property is going to sell for, because we obviously know what occurred during COVID when properties were selling off the Richter scale at the highest amount possible. But now we have to pay attention to that because that was almost about a year ago from the market turned. When determining the actual value of your property, it's going to be determined by the appraiser. Now that appraiser has to go by a certain few factors to actually identify what your property is actually worth. This individual is going to be hired by a lender. That appraiser that goes into your property has the utmost ability to destroy your deal because they're going to use factors such as homes that have sold within the last 6 months or homes that have sold within your neighborhood or in a 1 to 2 mile radius that share the like kind similarities of beds, baths, square footage, and lot size. So you'll compare townhouse to townhouse, single family to single family. These factors play a keen role because what happened 6 months ago? Crazy rates. Of course, huge discounts because this was almost going to be the bottom of the market across the United States, but specifically in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, if you're not part of this, you know what I mean? Let's bring some numbers into this to show you why appraisals may possibly come in short, because in this seller's market, we are getting multiple offers from a seller standpoint. Now, in November of 2022, the average median sale price in Pierce County is going to be at $498,000. In December, $531,000. And at the time of this recording, 30 days, the average median sale price is sitting at $575,000, which is a $77,000 price disparity from just November of last year. Now let's look at King County. In King County, the average median sale price was sitting at $1 million. Then in December at $912,000. And currently, our average median sale price in the last 30 days for King County is sitting at $1.01 million, which is going to be close to almost a $80,000 price difference. I'm bad at math, don't judge me. An $80,000 price difference from just the month of December. I want you to pay attention to those numbers because in this seller's market, you are going to be on fire, my friend. If you are selling a property during this time, you're going to have countless suitors that want your home, and you will be able to dictate terms. Of course, if you have proper representation that is strong in negotiating, you'll be all right with making a high sum of money. But with that high sum of money may come a certain risk that you actually have to weigh to protect yourself. There is a clause called a Form 22AD, which is going to be a short appraisal clause. It's going to be the ability for the buyer to offer some sort of concession if the appraisal comes in short, because you are going to run that risk because buyers are currently offering $10, $15, sometimes $20,000 over asking to ensure that they win your property. But it doesn't matter what you sell your house at because you have to appraise at the value in which you're selling it. The bank is not in the game of losing money. They're not going to give you money on a property that's worth less than the purchase price in which they're financing. Take a look at 2 zip codes, one from Tacoma, another from Seattle, to see how the market is reacting in terms of what prices were to where they are now and to why appraisals may be an issue. Now in 98404, which is going to be in Tacoma, they're saying it's 76 out of 100 for a seller's market, and the median list price is currently sitting at $475,000. Now let's look at the height of the market. They're saying in August 12th of 2022, the 7-day average is at 495,500. If we go down to December 2nd, it dropped all the way down to 419,000. And so this is close to almost a $70,000 drop from where the peak was to at that low point. Now let's fast forward to currently where we're sitting in this month of May, or whenever you watch this. They're saying that the 7-day average is currently sitting at 475,000. Now pay attention to that because if they're going to be using the last 6 months of data, they're going to be having a lot of sales that are currently ranging from the 419 range all the way to 450s. So which is kind of a tough spot because you have to appraise at the valuation of where your property is being sold in comparison to your neighbors, because you can't control what your neighbors have sold their property at. So next up we have Seattle, and this is gonna be the Ballard area. So the zip code is 98117. Now the median sales price currently is, median list price is sitting at 1.15 million. The seller's market meter is sitting at 74 out of 100. So they're still saying it's a strong seller's market. In the interactive chart, now the highest point for Ballard was going to be sitting in the month of March, and the 7-day average was at 1.3 million, and a 90-day average was sitting at 1.1 million for the actual list price. Now, in terms of where we're currently sitting at the low point of it, in December 30th, we were sitting at 849,000, and of course, the 90-day average was at 935,000, which is over a $300,000 drop. If we're talking averages, it was close to 270,000 for the 90-day average. Fast forward to where we are currently, we're almost back at the same exact spot. We are back at the same exact spot for the 90-day average at 1.1 million. So you can see this huge disparity in where the appraisals can actually be very stringent if your neighbors have sold for an extremely low price in comparison to yours. So now every appraiser is created equal because everyone does it differently. And unfortunately, it's a good thing and a bad thing because they all have their standard, but they all have their opinion. They have that human error. Then unfortunately, that human error can cause you money. But of course, this is protection for the buyer to ensure that they don't overpay on the property. So the biggest critical point I want to make to you is that you have to understand that your value of your property is what the market dictates, and unfortunately it's not the number that's on your Z estimate from Zillow. So now my advice to you is to ensure that you're working with a well-educated real estate agent or realtor that is well-versed and understands the marketplace and what your property is actually worth, because you have to understand the ranges on what your property is and going to sell for, because you will not be penalized on actually taking care of your home. You will not be penalized of having the most beautiful home on the block, because if a family is willing to pay you more than what you're asking for in a property, that should not be your fault. So there's ways to protect yourself in ensuring that in their contract, they have a clause called the 22AD, a short appraisal clause, that is going to actually give you money if they fall short, if you fall short on your appraisal. And of course, there's well more and definitely things you can go over. And if you need a good conversation, if you need a good conversation to actually get your property in the market and present it forward, sell it quick, sell it for the most amount of money, hey, contact information is down below if you're located within the Washington State area, or hey, you know what, if you need a conversation, contact information down below. My name is George Rodriguez with eXp Realty, and you have a good day.